The civil rights movement told us to wait, to negotiate, to sing, to march, and to beg for acceptance. But not everybody agreed with that. Some men just refused to bow down. They didn't ask for permission. They didn't ask for your approval. They demanded power.
FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover today asserted that of the black extremist groups, the Black Panthers represent the greatest internal threat to the nation. In his report for fiscal year 1969, Hoover said the Panthers have perpetrated numerous assaults on police and have engaged in violent confrontations throughout the country.
No, the Panthers were no threat to the so-called Negro community. Certainly not to the children that they fed, not to the communities that they protected. The Black Panthers were a threat to the system that fed on us. The Panthers were vampire killers.
While we were singing "We Shall Overcome," the power structure sent his pigs down, and they kept a beat to the tune of the song "We Shall Overcome" with a billy club crushing our skulls. We got to stop it.
These brothers and sisters were not criminals, and they were not a gang. The Black Panther Party was a neighborhood defense squad. They were armed, well-trained, very disciplined, and they were ready for war if that was necessary.
Ronald Reagan is over here on the big front lawn. I got a statement to read. The Black Panther Party for Self-Defense calls upon the American people in general and the black people in particular to take careful note of the racist California legislature, which is now considering legislation aimed at keeping the black people disarmed and powerless at the very same time. Racist police agencies throughout the country are intensifying the terror, brutality, murder, and repression of black people.
The Black Panther Party were not just radicals. They were legal experts. Brother Huey P. Newton knew the law better than the police did.
At the time of the creation of the Black Panther Party, I was introduced to Marxism, and I think I had read a book called the Materialism and Empirical Criticism, and by Ivy Lenin. And at that time, that it was pointed out that there are many contradictory social forces, and if you knew what to increase or decrease at a particular time, that you could cause a transformation. And so we were trying to increase the conflict that was already happening, and that was between the white racism, the police forces in the various communities and the black communities in the country, and we felt that we would take the conflict to so high a level that some change had to come.
And that made him a very dangerous man. The Black Panthers didn't just carry guns. They carried solutions.
I would like to use an example when Fidel Castro started the revolution along with Che Guevara, with 12 of them all together. They realized that they wouldn't be able to topple the oppressive regime in Cuba. What they were essentially was an educational body. They engaged with the army, they fought with the army, and they showed the people that the army was not bulletproof, that the police were not bulletproof, and that Batista's regime was not a regime that was impossible to topple. So the people started to feel their strength. The Black Panther Party feels very much the same way. We think that this educational process is necessary, and it's the people that will cause the revolution, and it's the people that will cause the change in the country.
And for that, they became public enemy number one.
The revolutionary wants to change the nature of society in a way to promote a world where the needs and interests of the people are responded to.
Chairman Fred Hampton, he was more than just a speaker. That brother was a strategist. He was like Malcolm X reincarnated. But only this time, Malcolm had an army.
When they got together, you if you do this Bobby Seale, yes, they got together with guns, and there's nothing wrong with that. Because we need some guns. Black people need some peace. White people need some peace. If we are going to have to fight, we're going to have to struggle. We're going to have to struggle relentlessly to bring about some peace. Because the people that we're asking for peace, they're a bunch of megalomaniac warmongers, and they don't even understand what peace means. I happen to be a part of an organization, the Black Panther Party, that is the only organization, in fact, that has came out and stood up loud and clear and said that we'll blow their brains out if they're bothering the people. And what makes them mad about that? They're constantly bothering the people. Anybody that's out there for the protection of the people happens to be in direct conflict with them.
The government knew they couldn't afford another Malcolm X. So they set a trap. They sent a rat.
I'd stolen a car and went joyriding over the state limit. And they had a potential case against me. And I was looking for an opportunity to work it off. And a couple of months later, that opportunity came when FBI agent Roy Mitchell asked me to go down to the local office of the Black Panther Party and try to gain membership. I tried to come up with signs of him doing drugs or something, and never could. He was clean. He was dedicated. I've had private conversations with him. We got along pretty well.
Weeks later, a gun battle on Chicago's South Side further escalated tensions. A former Panther and 2 policemen were killed. The deaths provoked a response from informant William O'Neill's FBI contact.
Mitchell became more specific during that time. He wanted to know the locations of weapons caches. He wanted to know if we had explosives. He needed to know who was staying at what locations, who spent the night where.
He drugged the brother, and at 4 a.m., the police fired over 90 shots into Fred Hampton's apartment. He never even woke up. They murdered this man while he lay next to his pregnant wife.
The shootout on the South Side had pretty much laid the foundation within the party. Within the Black Panthers, we knew that the police would react some type of way.
Expecting police action, the Black Panthers had fortified their office. FBI informant O'Neill was now head of Panther security in Chicago.
And I remember walking out of the office and looking through a little clearing over on the next block, which was right in front of the Monroe Street address, and seeing a lot of police cars over there. And at that time, Bobby Rush came to the office. He had just come from over there, or maybe the coroner's office. In any case, we walked back over there, and
FBI headquarters authorized payment of a $300 bonus to informant William O'Neill for, quote, uniquely valuable services which he rendered over the past several months, unquote.
They didn't kill him in battle, which would have been fitting for a soldier like Fred Hampton. Nah, they killed him in his bed because they knew they couldn't stop him any other way. They didn't want that work, and they really didn't want him doing any more of the work that he had already been doing. Chairman Fred Hampton, young revolutionary, taken way too soon.
You know, I just began to realize that the information that I supplied leading up to that moment had facilitated that raid. I knew that indirectly I had contributed, and I felt it, and I felt bad about it. And then I got mad. You know, I had, and then I had to conceal those feelings, which made it worse. I couldn't say anything. I just had to continue to play the role.
They didn't just kill Fred Hampton. They killed the future that the Panthers were building. You see, the Panthers were more than just leather jackets and shotguns. They were building a melanated economy. And when they destroyed them, they destroyed yet another shot at economic independence for our people. The Panthers were not just protecting the people, they were feeding them. They were teaching them how to be self-sufficient outside of white institutions. The free breakfast program alone was on track to become a national blueprint. Imagine melanated children across the country starting their day off with full stomachs, free of charge.
Before the Black Panther Party was set to launch their free breakfast for children program in Chicago, police broke into the church where it was going to be held and urinated on all of the food. Let that sink in. Armed officers sent in not to stop a crime, to seize weapons or drugs, but to desecrate meals set aside for hungry kids, because feeding each other for free under an unjust system is one of the most dangerous things that you can do.
And guess what happened next? Shouldn't be surprised by now. The government stole the idea. The USDA's school breakfast program, the same one that feeds millions of children today, was directly inspired by the Black Panther Party. But they didn't let us profit from it. They didn't let us expand it into what it should have become. Instead, they crushed us and they stole it.
The Black Panthers understood something truly radical. Hunger was not just a personal misfortune, it was political.
The Panthers weren't just about guns and protest. They were about financial sovereignty. Imagine if they had been allowed to grow.
Suffering is not a personal failure. It's a designed outcome of exploitation.
It's a designed outcome of exploitation.
That's why they came for Fred, and for Huey, and for Bobby, and for Assata, and for all the other Panthers who gave their lives and gave their freedom for our people. They didn't just want to kill the revolution. They wanted to kill melanated economy before it had a chance to grow.
Our government was not going to provide health care. So we were going to provide health care for the people.
The Black Panthers opened free medical facilities, created the very first nationwide screening program for sickle cell anemia, a blood disorder, and they even helped establish a form of acupuncture that's still in use today.
History is written by the victors. The Black Panthers are not writing the history of the Black Panthers Party.
If the Panthers had lived, if that movement had thrived, if they had been allowed to do what they were supposed to do, we could have owned our own communities once again. Every time we build, they tear it down. From 1911 to Black Wall Street, to the Civil Rights Movement, to the Panthers, they destroyed every blueprint for financial independence. After the Panthers fell, crack came in, welfare came in, child support, mass incarceration, all of this nonsense swept through our neighborhoods like plagues. And just like that, once again, we lost the fight for financial, physical, spiritual, cultural independence. None of this was an accident. All of this is going according to plan. But the Panthers didn't die. Their dream did not die. It still lives in the minds of those who know that we have the power to build our own future. We don't need permission or authorization or approval. We just need to remember who we are and what we are capable of. If the Black Panther Party taught us anything, it's this. We don't beg for nothing, especially not freedom. We either build it or we take it. We are the Panthers. We are the revolution. We are still here. We have always been here. Uckery, the F is silent, was brought to you by Century 21 Rehabilitation Services Incorporated, nonprofit 501c3, for educational and charitable purposes only. Fair use.